Hello and welcome to the Catch a Lift Coaches Corner. I'm KL lead coach Melissa Luke, and this week I am honored to welcome the president and founder of the Catch a Lift Fund, Lynn Coffland, to the show. Today's podcast, we will discuss how COVID has affected CAL, as well as the launch of our virtual fundraiser in November titled 14 Days to Catch a Lift. Lynn, welcome to the Coaches Corner. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm very good. I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous.
Oh, that's all right. We are so happy to have you on today. We'll get right into it.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa.
Absolutely. Let's start. Can you talk to us a little bit about how COVID has affected Catch a Lift this year?
Sure. Just like most people in the US and really around the world, we're completely virtual. So we all are working remotely at home. We're working virtually, and we're pushing harder than ever now. Really, the biggest change has been virtual and not being able to be together in person.
Yeah, I know that's definitely been a big transition, but it's working well. We're figuring it out for sure.
We're definitely figuring it out. Of course, many of our members, like all of us, can't go to the gym if their state is closed. Things are opening back up, which is really great. Home equipment for our members has been scarce, but we had to freeze our funding once COVID hit, and we actually laid off the entire team except one person, and but we're back now with a great staff moving forward. So COVID's thrown a lot at us, but like you said, we're fighting hard and pushing back.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of veterans are wondering, when will Catch a Lift begin accepting new applications into the program again?
Well, we found out a lot during COVID. We really dived into the programs, looked at them, looked at how they worked and how our funding was being pushed out to our members and when they could get granted. So we've switched things up a little bit, and I think that it'll be to the advantage of so many of our veterans applying. And what that'll happen is the men and women can apply, our veterans, at any point for a full wellness program. That'll be the mentoring, the coaching, our new fitness app, the landing zone, all of the benefits that they've always had. The grant part, where they can choose a gym or home equipment, we're holding that off till 2021.
Okay.
And when we do, we'll be putting it out twice a year in a cycle. So that's going to help a lot with that dreaded wait list, the long time to get in and then wait, and what does that look like? So right now, the answer to that question on the short end is 2021, but in the fall, November, December, applications will open up for the wellness program part, which is, like I said, the landing zone, the coaching, the mentoring, the fitness app, etc.
Wonderful. What exactly is the Weightless Lin for people that aren't familiar with that? Could you talk to us about that? And also, when the COVID freeze happened, how many veterans were affected that were on that wait list?
Yes, absolutely. The wait list is that like dreaded word at Cal. We the team here worries about it. We work hard for it. And then our veterans, if you've ever been on the wait list, you know it's a long wait. And the reason is it's good and it's bad, right? It's bad if you're waiting, but that's why you can use the landing zone, talk to your coaches that reach out to you, the mentors that reach out to you, answer those phone calls when our vet outreach call you, our motivational text messages. Those are all things while you're waiting for your choice of home equipment or a gym to attend. But what happens is once you're in Cal, you're not out. This is not a one-time shot.
Right.
You're in it for as long as you want to be in it, as long as Catch a Lift can support you. So what that means is your first 2 years, once you're in, You are allowed to go 2 years. You still have to be accountable. You still have to do your health reports. But once you're in, you go year to year. And those are all part of your program and part of being having a grant. In year 3, we ask our veterans to give back a little bit, get a little skin in the game, and help us with some of our awareness and fundraising that we push out so that another brother or sister can get in. So as you can see this, if you're accountable, if you're going to the gym, if you're working out, if you're answering your coach, you can be renewed year after year after year. So what happens is our new applicants that hear about the success of Catch a Lift have to wait longer and longer. So in short, our funding has not caught up with the demand from our veterans.
Right.
So the demand outweighs the fundraising right now. Hopefully, one day, that'll be a great solution. And we'll have amazing fundraisers and amazing donors that just keep that so there's never a wait list again.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I know, it would be fantastic. So we have right now, when COVID hit, of course, all of our funding stopped because we did mostly in person. We do have individuals that still donate that help keep the doors open, but the big money came in through all of our in-person fundraising. Right. And when we closed on March 19th, we had to go remote and do some layoffs. That was 638 veterans on that wait list. That's a lot of men and women waiting.
It is. So those are 638 veterans that have not yet been served with a grant. But like you said, they do have, that wellness package with the landing zone, the accountability if they need to get with a coach, the app. And
what we were really proud, Melissa, because you were part of this, we worked very hard for over a year and a half to get that landing zone. It's a proprietary website. It goes out to every member, is granted that immediately upon their approval. And there is just hundreds, if not thousands, of articles, videos, programming, nutrition, any discipline of fitness that you choose. There's community. But our veterans need to get in there and work on it and check it out and get in there, because especially now with COVID, that was all set up prior, and you can actually work out in there and get all of your information. We were really proud to make that very accessible for our traumatic brain injury veterans. So it's very accessible for TBI, really easy to navigate, really clear. And all of that content comes from Melissa Luke sitting right there in front of you and her coaching staff. So, these are veterans making up this criteria and these articles, choosing them off the internet and getting them by reliable sources. And then other coaches that are civilians, but are all educated in fitness, nutrition, and recovery.
Absolutely. I think we've been so blessed by all of our volunteers, both within the program, our volunteer CAL coaches, our civilian, coaches that volunteer and give so much of themselves to our nation's veterans. It's been absolutely remarkable to see it continue on. This, kind of COVID-free shutdown has drug on for everybody, but these people have not missed a lick, so it's just remarkable.
Oh, Melissa, I don't know what. We've always said this for 10 years. We would never have gotten to 10 years for a nonprofit that started in my basement, very small, and now we're serving over 7,000 veterans. We've done over 8,600 fitness grants, nutrition grants, wellness, education, just a plethora of grants to our veterans. We could never have done that without, one, our donors, our American patriots that have given either $1 or $100,000. We could never do it without them. They're what makes us open our door. But yet what makes us run are these volunteers that continue to outpour love and dedication and to give a part of themselves. It's the biggest blessing I could ever thank. Our veterans through COVID that are coaches and mentors and supporters, they've never left our side. You know that team. They show up every Thursday. They're checking in on me, texting me. They're there Thursday for your coach calls. Never ever have left our side. We just, our heart is so full with love for everyone that helps us. My own mom.
I was going to say, let's talk about that. Your mom and the vet outreach team. Let's talk about it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It really is. Our vet outreach team, who is run by Kaylee Nasiri, she's new to Catch a Lift team. She came in after COVID, and Chris is her uncle, and she graduated with her master's in a whole nother discipline. And we were lucky that she came in with us right now. And she's running that vet outreach team, where our vet outreach staff, volunteers, all volunteers, have called hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, into the thousands of veterans every single day, week after week, and checking in. How's it going? What do you need? Tell us what you're doing during this time. That we have that capacity. As you know, as a veteran, you're in your home, you're isolating, you're worried, you're nervous, you're hunkering down. Here's a team there. Here's a team that is ready to step up and say, let us reach out to you. We're here for you. Let's just talk. Remarkable. So I approached my mom, because we're gathering volunteers. So I approached my mom, and you all have seen her if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook. She was up a few months ago. And my mother's a very vivacious, amazing woman. She's going to kill anybody. She's going to be so mad at me, like, just that I'm going to say she's 86 years old, gorgeous and phenomenal, full of energy. And she was not able to do this for 10 years. I mean, Chris was her baby, and she's had a lot of pain. She has called more veterans in this vet outreach COVID than any person on our team. It has been remarkable, and they love talking to her. She has found a real respite in really seeing what Catch a Lift does firsthand, and we're really proud of her. And I'm blessed that that's the kind of support we've gotten.
Absolutely. It's just remarkable, and a big thank you to your mom for, giving back to our veterans that way. It's just absolutely remarkable. So I want to talk a little bit, we're going to talk a lot about 14 days to catch a lift, but, for people that don't know, Lynn, Cal was affected, greatly when COVID hit. One of the big things was all of our in-person events, were scrubbed for the year. Everything was canceled. How has that affected your ability to fundraise?
Well, it's been tough, like for most nonprofits, but it's been extremely tough because our need is so great. All in-person events were canceled. The only in-person event that we are able to do is our golf event, October 5th, here in Maryland, and it's on our website if you are available to support that or even to come play. But that's our first live event. So 62% of all of our funding came through in-person events that Christine Sandoval runs, and they were all over the country. Everything was shut down. Our first virtual fundraiser was with our New York City team. They were remarkable. They raised enough money that have kept our doors open through COVID, and able to bring back Catch a Lift to be able to serve and keep going. So this 14 days we had to make virtual, and we said, what does that look like? So Jess Drew, Christine Sandoval, Henry Pomper, all of our team dove in and took webinar and classes and figured out what's virtual fundraising, like what does that even look like? Because we're a very hands-on, you hear the stories from our veterans. It's a very powerful in-person event, really, really moving. So the team, they're just incredible team, came up with 14 days to catch a lift, because Catch a Lift, as we all know, was coined after Chris saying, that he was going to go catch a lift and hit the gym, but he also meant that he was going to be inspired and kind of be centered and refocused by catching this lift. So we wanted to say, what do 2 weeks look like? 14 days of walking through the life every single day of one of our veteran members. So for 14 days, you're going to meet 14 veterans. Each day, a singular veteran is going to be hosting that day. They're going to tell about their mission. They're going to tell about, if they choose to share with us, how they were injured and what those injuries might be. They're also going to tell us about the core pillar of Catch a Lift that we stand by: nutrition, fitness, emotional wellness, and community, and however that inspired them, and how that affected their life. And then from that, after you meet them and you get to sign in and listen to them, then they're going to present to you that day either a workout, an article, a seminar, a video, and several others where you can find that core pillar and what that looks like. So we're beyond excited about these 14 days, because where else can you meet 14 men and women that have done this miraculous recovery and journey, and they're still crushing it and pushing hard? We're just beyond excited. And then the culmination will be the Jubilee, which is on November 13th, that Friday, which is, again, sort of I always think it's a higher being putting this together. That was the actual day Chris died, and it was actually on a Friday, 10 years ago. So it's 11/13, and we will have our Jubilee from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, televised, virtual fundraising. I like to think we're televised, nationwide, to all of our hosts and guests that came to Northern Virginia, Baltimore, Westport, Connecticut, Chicago. We're opening up to Oceanside, California this year. But really, anyone that wants to join in across the nation, to see what that's like. We're going to have veterans speaking. We're going to have donors talking. We're going to have our sponsors share a moment. We're going to have extraordinary raffles and Concept 2 rowers raffled off, a Theragun raffled off, a 511 tactical vest raffled off. So really, really incredible things. So it's just going to be, we are so excited, because
I am so excited. Oh my gosh.
Right? It's hard to get stoked about like a virtual fundraiser, right? Because it's like, but 1 hour, which is nothing, it's going to fly by, and we have all of this to offer. But yet, leading up to this Jubilee, every single day you can meet you, Melissa Luke, Matt Leva, Jason Smith, Amber Jock, new veterans that have come into the program, Bobby Dove, just these amazing men and women, Carnell Martin, Sarah Rudder, telling their stories, sharing with them fitness, community, nutrition, wellness. Beyond excited. I want to, we just can't get enough fast enough.
I know, I'm so excited for it. And, like you said, nonprofits, they've been kind of sunk as far as in-person events go. So a lot of them are doing different type of virtual fundraisers, but this one has a completely different feel, so I think that's a lot of the excitement, and we've never had anything like this. It's amazing.
It is, I think that's a good way to put it. It does have a different feel. You can, not only can you participate, which we hope you do, and it's completely free to everyone. So anyone can sign in 14 days. Of course, a donation would be lovely. In lieu of a ticket, perhaps you may make your donation. We have sponsorships that Christine Sandoval can get to you. So all sorts of ways, our raffles to raise the money. But more importantly, walk those 14 days with 14 different men and women that you've never met, that are going to show you, what was it like? What was my mission? Why did I choose to serve our country? And then how was I injured? And now, what was my recovery like? What did I go through? But yet here I am, pushing out every single day with one of our core pillars, and it's changing their life. And they're going to talk to you about that. And some of our veterans that you'll walk with in those 14 days, are still struggling, and they're going to tell you about that because we really embrace at Catch a Lift that every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. So if yesterday was a bad day for you, if PTS affected you, you had some issues financially with your partner, your spouse, your children, just depression, anxiety setting in. Today's a new day. You can wake up, the Lord brings it to you. We're here for you, and you can walk these 14 days with all these amazing men and women. So it's gonna be, as I always say, remarkable.
For sure. And you touched on it a bit before, Lynn, but again, so through these veterans, you're really going to, or, we're really going to be highlighting those four key pillars of CALE, fitness, nutrition, community, emotional wellness. Can you talk to us just a little bit about those four and kind of how you've seen them, work in the lives of our veterans this past decade of service?
Absolutely. And the four core pillars, all of us can use. Any human being needs that in your life. And to physically and mentally be healthy, well, present, you need all four. Whether you are counting macros or you're just eating healthy, making clean choices, substance, things like that. It all starts with nutrition. We all know that our body has to run at the best capacity it can, and that's what you put in it. So that's our very first core pillar. You know, very simply, maybe drop soda if you drink it. That's all.
Right.
Maybe you drink one a day. Let's knock it down to two, three, knock them off. So nutrition, what you're putting in your body is what starts our first pillar. And then it's fitness. So what does that mean? Yes, we have amazing veteran coaches that are deadlifting, bench pressing unprecedented amounts, weight. But we also have a huge amount, really the majority of our members, finding it healthy again just to walk with their family, run with their children, be able to play softball, get out there, move, make those decisions. So that's our fitness pillar. And then our emotional wellness is, who are you and what are you about mindfully day to day? Where are you going to wake up in your mind and what are you going to put forward? So we really push these things. How can I emotionally stay well connected? Is that spiritually for you? Is that a mindfulness place? Is that being in the moment? Is that being able to learn meditation? Or what does it take for you for recovery? Are you taking a moment for your day to just stop, reflect on all the goodness that's been given to you? Or perhaps maybe obstacles you're at and where you can get to with them. So emotional wellness is the third pillar, and all of that comes together then with our fourth pillar, which is community. We push community out first within CAL. You have to lean on your brothers and sisters. You have to lean on the coaches we make available to you. You have to lean on the mentors we make available to you. And then you can reach out within your community. We have fundraisers, we have gyms all over the country that have communities you can get involved with. There's a brother or sister right down the street from you, I guarantee you, through the Catch a Lift community. And then people that you've met along the way. What does that look like? A community in your church, other resources, veteran organizations that are offered to you. You have to make that community. And then we come together as civilians and as service members, and we form this amazing family. And it's all at the core of CAL.
Oh, that's so special. The community aspect of it is like no other. I can certainly attest to that. So, another big question, Lynn. What will happen to the vets that are on the wait list as CAL raises funds through this 14-day event?
Well, we're super excited about that because we have a goal to raise enough funding. We're gonna have to reduce the grant part a little bit, so that we can really focus and try to get every single of the 638 into the program, into the grant part funded. So we're reducing the grant part a little bit, but once we get those fundings, as they come in through our 14 days to catch a lift, we will start with the very last person on the wait list, or I should say the first on the wait list, head back into the day, into the year, I'm sorry, into the date, and we'll move forward. So if we raise X amount of dollars, we're going to get X amount of veterans
Right.
in. So the more we raise, we're going to wipe out that list one by one by one by one. And we're going to hit everyone up, talk to them about it, let our veterans know what's coming. Hopefully the funds will come in. We really believe it. Our sponsors, our donors, our supporters have never, ever, ever let us down. So we know we're going to do it. And so by fall, we're hoping that by Christmas, a beautiful present to all of us is that wait list will be ready to be wiped out, and we're going to hit 2021 fresh and new, and everybody ready to just kick it again.
Absolutely. Who can get involved, Lynn, and how can they help? How can they get involved for anybody listening?
Well, we have so many ways to get involved. Kaylee our vet outreach team needs a lot of support. Still calling our veterans. You go through a training. We still need your help. We need help with just simply input of information. So don't feel like if calling or talking isn't part of your qualities that you would like to offer. We need input of information, so information data, things of that nature, data input. We also need gyms to be involved. If you're out there listening, you have a small facility, a big facility, one-on-one coaching, you're a certified coach in nutrition, we need you to be involved. We want you to reach out to us at cal@catchaliftfund.com. Where all of our emails are on our website. You can reach out to any of us. We need you to say, hey, I'm here. What can I do? Can I reach out to my community and become a CAL ambassador? We have an ambassador program. It has all of the things that I'm talking about in there. That's awareness in your community. It's perhaps your own company that you may work at if you're a civilian or a veteran and you're in the workforce. What does that look like? Get your company involved. We have we have a donate corporate matching program, which is on our donate page. So someone might donate $100, your company may match it. It's really getting involved and saying, okay, I can do this. How? So reach out to us. We'll get you an ambassador package, and you can learn all of these different ways to get involved. Companies can be sponsors for the 14-day to catch a lift event. They can, come in at any amount. We offer that. We also have different levels where you can have soldier sessions within your company. Soldier session, you can talk about that, Melissa. They're incredible. And I would love you to tell everyone about those, because they're wonderful things that companies can sponsor and really dive into being part of Catch a Lift and what our veterans do.
Right, and I've had the honor to to be a part of a couple soldier sessions, and what it comes down to is myself or a couple of our other Catch a Lift veterans, we meet now, now we're doing it virtually, but otherwise, in non-COVID time, it's in person with the company. You tell some, about your service, kind of about your injuries, your recovery, moving through. And I talked about how, Catch a Lift empowered me, to continue my strength journey. It's very moving, and you're able to really bridge this gap between the civilian population and, our nation's veterans. After we kind of talk and share about ourselves, we open it up to more of a roundtable discussion, where we'll take questions and answer them. But it's a tremendous opportunity, both for the veteran to heal and for, like I said, for these companies to get their employees out there and to really see, what it's like for these veterans, and It's a very moving thing, and I would encourage anyone that's able to participate or look into having their company host a soldier session.
Well, and you know, Melissa, what's so interesting when you said that, it made me remember again when we did one of our very first ones here in Baltimore. What you forget is you oftentimes civilians, I think, are nervous. I know I was when I started Catch a Lift about saying the right thing or doing the right thing with
Right.
post-traumatic stress, and you don't want to offend anyone, a veteran. You want to ask the right questions. But when we really got into it and we did our soldier sessions, you forget that, you know, we're all human beings. We've
Yes.
all gone through many different traumatic events in our life, some much greater, some less, but it's still subjective to you as a human, right? So to break down those barriers during a soldier session where perhaps I'm a civilian and I'm dealing with depression on my own through something I experienced, and I'm listening to a veteran telling me this, and then a veteran is listening to a civilian, there's a really great exchange that breaks down those barriers, which then again incorporates community and what we're talking about. Well, we're in this together, and let's really be in it together. Let's not just be in it on the surface. Let's really get in and say, you know, what can we do for each other? How can we bond? What can I learn from you, and what can you learn from me, right? And I think that's where the soldier session and what we've brought that to so many companies with Catch a Lift is just it's groundbreaking, and it's changing that feeling of, okay, I get it, and I see what that's like. I understand that sacrifice on both levels.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, it goes both ways. There's so much for us to learn from the civilian population and vice versa. And we're all humans, you know, and oftentimes it feels like that gap between us is very big, you know, but it doesn't need to be. And one of the things I'm definitely most proud of Catch a Lift is their desire to bridge that gap between civilian and military, because it helps us all heal and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So Lynn, Catch a Lift is it's been a decade of service. You know, Catch a Lift is celebrating this year. Um, would you tell us a little bit about how you turned pain to purpose and you founded Catch a Lift?
Well, yes, 10 years, right? So I know in the beginning, I thought to myself, if I can, you know, if we can figure out how to help one veteran and then another veteran, like that would be really pretty cool. Like my brother would be very down with that because he was all about helping everyone. And so then as it started to go one to one to one, you really saw this healing that happened on both sides. And that healing, which is the pain part, my pain of losing my brother, um, you know, you lose a brother or sister, a sibling. There's something about that history that you share that no one else can share, right? It's just your history. And losing that or having that pain from that, you also see the pain on the other side of who we're serving. So if we can take that pain of who we serve and let them be in that pain, reflect on it, and then transform that negative energy into the positive energy through first physical exertion and now mental exertion and now exertion out into the community. The purpose is, it speaks for itself. And when I say this from the bottom of my heart, every day that God keeps me on this path, I am humbled to walk it. It is it's the most extraordinary adventure I've ever taken. And it is only given to me through the death of my brother, which is the rebirth of all the men and women that we get to meet, and they open their hearts and share so much with us and so much of themselves. I mean, there's no greater purpose I could have right now. And I'm humbled by that. And 10 years of it, it just, I want to do 10 and 10 and 10 and pass it on to all the men and women that are with us and let them carry that torch.
Absolutely. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say I'm eternally grateful to you and the Catch a Lift Fund and the entire Coughlin family. So thank you from myself and thousands of others. Lynn, how many veterans, I know you mentioned it earlier, but it speaks volumes. How many veterans and caregivers, how many grants have been served these past 10 years?
So we've done over 7,000, and and I have to tell you, even in the very beginning, it could be a little more because, like I said, I mean, I had files spread all over, all over my face, all over my house. I was in. Everyone that knows me closely knows. I had another business life. Like I was a interior decorator. So when I started, I didn't understand, how to do all this. And as we grew, I learned rapidly, and from the support of our employees and our board members and our volunteers, I learned rapidly, what that looks like. And so we some of those beginning members, I know from my emails, but they weren't in our quote database. But so 7,000, and again, and that we're not including anything from 2020, of course. Over 8,600 physical grants were given out, and we've raised 6.2 million. And I have to be reminded by seasoned individuals that in a nonprofit world, especially a veteran nonprofit, that's that's pretty, we can hang our hat on that for 10 years because most nonprofits don't last that long. They haven't exceeded the amount of funds that we have raised. And what I'm the most proud of is that the percent is extremely low of who gives back that much money. And we're right up in there. And in the health industry, we're less than 4%, and we're in that bracket. So we have a lot to be proud of. And again, I do not credit myself for any of it. It is you, the veterans, the members, the donors, the supporters, the board members, our volunteers. That's what made Catch a Lift grow.
Yeah. Lynn, when you reflect back over this 10 years, Catch a Lift has obviously evolved a lot. Like you said, when Catch a Lift started, it was literally in your house, with a couple files. Looking back over this past 10 years, what are you most proud of?
Well, I would say it's of course, that I knowing my brother, he would not want any fanfare at all, like at all, never. And he would not, he'd be mortified like that we use his name and things like that. He just never liked that. But I feel in that part, I've spoken to thousands and thousands of veterans at this point. And the men and women that died in the wars, and their names aren't mentioned again, and they're in a grave, and their names are said less and less, and the memories are less and less. I'm proud that Chris's death can represent that. So his death is really all the men and women that died, and that through that, with these conflicts, they will never be forgotten.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lynn, you're one of the most positive people that I know, and you are. And, you never look at a situation as, bad or negative. Looking back over 2020, people say there's a silver lining in everything. What have you found to be, the silver lining through COVID, either for yourself or kind of with Catch a Lift?
I have to tell you, besides like no money, the gyms are closed, we can't see each other, health, personal tragedies to people's jobs, and the people that we lost through COVID. I mean, all the horrible things. We have been so blessed. I've been blessed with many silver linings, and those silver linings are things that are really tangible, if that makes sense. So I know the first silver lining is that God blessed us with tenacity. That we all took a day to like, you
Yeah,
know, wait a
absolutely.
minute, what? And I'm talking in regards to quote a business, a nonprofit. So we all stepped back and were like, I'm sorry, what? So we all went down and took that day, but the silver lining that we come back with this team of kicking and crawling and scratching and not taking no. And when I reach out, the team is there. No problem. We've got it. Don't worry. The silver lining of I never, of course, was in the military. I only live vicariously through understanding what it is through great men and women that I am blessed to work with. When they say they have your back, let me tell you something. Somebody might, the veteran community is a hard community to stay in touch with. You all know that. Anyone that works with veterans know that. Little rascals, they're easy, they're used to getting
Yeah.
out of situations. So it's a hard community to stay in touch with. And someone might have been MIA for whatever reason. But when I reach out and I say, I need you, Catch a Lift needs you, a veteran needs you, we are bombarded back with veterans there to support us. We've got your back. I truly understand what that word means. So that silver lining is incredible. The silver lining that our board members are still engaged, still pushing for us. Our sponsors still there to step up. Some have to step back because they've had to regroup with COVID. Those are amazing. The tenacity of the human spirit, the tenacity of the men and women dedicated to our military. So the silver lining is just that God touches our life every day, and He says to me, like, I wake up refreshed and ready to roll, and what's new, and to see these stories. Another silver lining that is just every single day, again, humbles me. When I meet a new veteran and they so willingly share personal story or their personal obstacles they're going through, personal victories, there's no reason I should be the one that hears that. So I feel I'm blessed to do that and then represent everyone and push it out to everyone. It's just the silver linings have been amazing.
Yeah.
We really want to keep it moving and keep that energy strong and good. And the men and women that I've been blessed to even be in touch with, I just can't thank them enough for everything that they continue to push for us to find purpose and serve their brother and sister. It's been incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, we want to invite everybody to tune in and spend, and when November 1st rolls around, you've got 14 days to catch a lift with us. And we're so very excited to have you a part of it. Lynn, I think this is a good place for us to end for today. Thank you so much. Like I said, for myself and thousands of others, for what you've done, for what your family's done, for what this for what this amazing Catch a Lift Fund has done for so many.
Thank you.
We will be back next Wednesday at 1 Eastern with another show. Lynn, thank you for sharing your light with us today and all you've done to empower our great nation's veterans. Thank you to ID Technology for your continued support of the Catch a Lift Fund, the website, Landing Zone, this podcast. Thank you, ID Technologies. Thank you, Lynn Coffland, Kaylee Nasiri, Henry Pomper, for your continued support of the show and helping us get this out every Wednesday to our veterans and supporters. And we want to invite any veteran members that are listening today, if you'd like to jump on and talk some more with Lynn and myself, leave your name in the chat box and we'll get you guys an email link set over. And until next week, keep it real and stay Cal strong.